Hello, welcome back. I'm Lori Williams. I'm a psychic medium, energy healer, animal communicator, and spiritual teacher. Today, I want to talk to you about feelings. So, I've been hearing a lot of people saying to me lately, I'm really trying to get through this, or I'm really trying to be strong and positive, and I'm really trying. The thing with spirituality is not about it's spirituality is not about trying to stay positive all the time. That's not the point. It's not about being strong and getting through something. It's not about being like completely ignoring your feelings for the sake of positivity. That's not what spirituality is about. What spirituality is about, and proper spiritual practices is recognizing when you're in an unalignment state, like you're out of alignment. When you're in that state of being out of alignment, you recognize it because of how you feel. Now, if life throws something at you, it's not about trying to stay positive or trying to get through it. Some things are going to come to you because they need to unfold. That takes, time for it to unfold in its entirety. That may take days, hours, weeks, months, years for it to completely unfold. So, if you're just trying to get through it without recognizing, what am I feeling about this? What are my true feelings about this? Is there any feelings that I need to process as I'm going through this? Not just to rush through it or to get through it to say that you're on the other side of it. That's not the point of it. Now, in many cases, at least with my own work, my own personal work, that I have noticed that it's much easier for me to recognize things after I'm on the other side of it. So I don't, even as I'm going through something, I don't hold myself to a high standard of having to figure it out. When I'm going through something, I'm more inclined to just allow myself the time and the space. I take care of my needs when I need to. I take care of my emotions as they come up, and I just really allow myself to be just in that state of being. Then when I'm on the other side of it, I'm like, okay, what are my lessons learned? What are the things that I can take from this that has like is going to help me to grow in or align me more with the person that I truly am. Because unfortunately, a lot of people, as they're trying to go through it, they're like, "Oh, there's a lesson in this for me. I know there's a lesson in this for me." And if you're at that stage of your spiritual game, so to speak, if you're at that stage of your spiritual journey, um, and you are able to try to look for the lesson, then by all means do that. But if you're not there yet, trying to find the lesson when you're just really stuck in your humanness right now, it's just going to be nothing but frustrating. And in most cases, it would actually re-traumatize you. It's like another trauma, a trauma on top of a trauma, right? So if you're going through something, let's say a family member is ill, for an example, if you're trying to figure out what the lesson as you're dealing with that family member being ill and all the processes that go through that, all the emotions that you need to process through that, if you're trying to find a lesson in that, that can just be like a trauma on top of a trauma, and that's the last thing that you want to do for yourself. First and foremost, you have to meet yourself where you are. That is the biggest thing that the biggest lesson I could probably teach you is meeting yourself where you are in each and every day, in every moment. If right here, right now, life feels too freaking heavy for you to even work on your spirituality, okay. Nobody says you have to. Nobody is sitting there saying this is every single day. You have to work on this every single day, no matter what. If you feel like today it's too much to work on it, then don't. If you feel like whatever it is you're going through, it's impossible for you to stay positive at this point, then don't even focus on positivity. Focusing on managing the emotions that are already coming up in your world instead of trying to create new ones. Just focus on healing the ones or like processing and releasing the ones that are currently coming up. That's what it's about. It's about the moment. It's about meeting you in the moment, being with yourself in the moment, teaching yourself in the moment, treating yourself, nurturing yourself the way you need to in that moment. That's what it's all about. It's not about racing through it. It's not about figuring out what the lesson is. There's a time and there's a space for that. And as you're going through it, often is not the time and space for that. The problem that a lot of people face, though, is that what they will do is once they're on the other side of it, they don't re-look at it. They don't look, oh well, it's in the past. I'm just gonna, that's it. Like I'm just gonna leave it there. but it doesn't stay there. It comes with us and it impacts the rest of our lives. So if you're struggling to find out why, find the meaning, to find the value of what it is that you're going through, then stop looking. But make a promise to yourself that when things calm down, when things seem more manageable for you, you are going to take time to process what it was you just went through. Even if you're processing as you're going through it, it's still worth it to go back and look at it after you're on the other side of it. Don't just be like, oh, well, I got through it, so that's all that matters. There's different opportunities at different times. And don't worry about an opportunity missed. There's no such thing as a missed opportunity. If you cannot, like literally cannot face looking at yourself from a spiritual perspective today, and maybe you just want to feel like angry or disappointed or hurt, then sit with those emotions. Just don't allow yourself to stay there. That's where the processing through them comes. But you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to know a week from now what emotions you're going to be feeling and what you got to figure out. You don't have to try to stay positive because, oh, I'm manifesting at a certain level. No, you are human. And there is a balance between your soul self and your human self. This is one thing that I speak openly about in my own journey is I got stuck for about a year and a half of always trying to live for my higher self, always trying to live in that positive alignment. And for no other reason other than it felt good. It felt better to be in that high vibe space. Being human sucked in comparison. It was just too hard. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So, but what happened was all the emotions that I had been pushing aside or trying to ignore for the sake of positivity, they were still there for me to deal with. And like I said, I got stuck in that for a year and a half. I believe that my journey has unfolded exactly the way that it's meant to. But at the same time, and I know I had to go through that, but at the same time, I wish I would have had somebody telling me, like, do not, for any reason, stop looking at what you're currently feeling and working with yourself for where you are. That negates everything else. Everything else gets put on hold. Your spiritual journey, everything. Because the thing is you have a whole bunch of spiritual moments that make up your spiritual journey. So if you are taking care of yourself and nurturing yourself and processing the emotions that you need to process right now in this moment, you're taking spiritual steps on your spiritual journey. So it's not like you're ignoring it. You're ignoring it when you're like, oh, I feel angry, but I really got to get into that state of positivity. Like that's when you're avoiding it. And I encourage you not to do that. Like I said, give yourself a time limit, but feel it, process through it, allow yourself to feel that. And even if you want to stay mad for a couple of days, stay mad. These are your steps to take. But to get through it for the sake of getting through it, to ignore all the true emotions that are coming up for the sake of positivity, that's called spiritual bypassing. It's a real thing and it sucks. So if you're doing it, if this video sounds like you, stop. Stop right now and be like, okay, how do I feel right now? Where am I right now? Meet yourself right now. If you don't know what else to do, meet yourself in the moment. If everything feels good in this moment, let everything be good in your life. If everything feels maybe, like I said, maybe anger, frustration, hurt, whatever it is that you're feeling, let that be that moment. You don't have to be like, oh, I feel like frustrated, but I need to feel positive. So frustrated, sorry, you got to take a back seat. Positivity, come on in. It doesn't work that way. The truth of it is when you process through the things that you need to process through, happiness and positivity it's the result of the work that you're doing. So the more you deal with these emotions that are coming up, the more it's going to align you with those emotions that you actually want. That's the kind of the catch 22 of it. When you are trying to force or hiding the emotions, the true emotions that you're feeling for the sake of positivity, your positivity becomes forced and it's not sustainable at all. So you'll be doing like the ups and downs, the fluctuating constantly. But if you just do the work and sit with yourself and meet yourself where you are, positivity and all the high vibe emotions that you want to feel that come with being on a spiritual journey and doing the inner work, they come naturally. That's when you know you're doing it right. Not that you can really do it wrong. You can't mess this up. But that's when you know that that's in like, okay, I'm on a roll here. I'm on the right path. I'm processing, I'm healing, I'm doing the things that I need to do. Is when you look at yourself, you look at whatever is coming up, and once you're gone, you are able to process through it all. Like I said, the inner peace, the excitement, the happiness, the joy, the love. It's a happy little side effect of doing the inner work. So do the inner work. Don't, it's not worth it to avoid it. That's absolutely, it's not worth it at all. Like, when I said I was stuck in it for a year and a half, it felt like it like sent me right back to the beginning. So if that's part of your path, obviously, I mean, that's going to happen the same as it happened with me. And that's okay. But if you have someone telling you, hey, do not avoid your feelings, allow yourself to feel them, then you can avoid that. Well, obviously, that's meant to be too. So I wasn't meant to have somebody to tell me that, but I was meant to become somebody to tell you that. So really listen to this. And if you say, wow, that sounds a lot like what I'm doing, you need to stop and meet yourself where you are. You will appreciate it and you will thank me one day for it. I do promise. Thank you so much for joining me today. We will see you back here next time. Until then, take care. Bye for now.